Hey guys, and you are listening to Profound Radio. I'm Mapal.
I'm Silven.
I'm Shannon.
And we have our special guest today, who is Tom.
Hello.
That was so delayed. Hello. So yeah, we have the creepy demon man with us today. How are you doing, Tom?
I am doing pretty good this morning. How about y'all?
Tired.
Awesome.
I have acid reflux.
Well done. Maybe if you didn't drink so much soda.
This isn't a show about my health problems. This is a show about supernatural.
It's okay. I'm trying to work out.
Poor baby.
I've been awake for something like 18 hours, and I got 1 hour sleep. So yeah, this is golden. We're golden, and I'm hosting today. Hi, I'm back hosting. How's it going? Because I got internet.
Yes, everything's going to job that I did.
Yeah, everything's just going to cock up now because I'm back. So yeah, quick news from us is our Twitter account is now up and running again. So you can tweet us and we shall pick that up. I'm logged into it now. So you can tweet questions there or general feedback and we'll pick that up. And quick update on filming. Friday was episode 903, day 5, so we're getting into the season now. It's really exciting. And, yeah. Would someone like to do...
So excited I'm going to die.
What?
I said I'm so excited I think I'm going to die.
I know.
Oh.
God, every time the, rap thing gets posted by Russ, I'm just like, oh my god, it's like episode 3. It's really cool. So who wants to do the casting news while I shut my door because the kettle's boiling?
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
We have some news on the casting in the new season. First news we have is that, I'm not sure how to pronounce the name. Is it Taimo Peniket? Because that's what it sounds like. But
I think you got it right.
Yeah.
I'm totally not sure how to pronounce this. I'm so sorry. But anyway,
yeah.
Tama, okay, was cast as Ezekiel. She was previously on Battlestar Galactica and Dollhouse, and I have seen some pictures, and I have to tell you guys, hot damn!
Yeah, seriously. I'm going to put a picture up of him because, you know, this is some serious eye candy for the angels. I mean, this is... Where's this picture gone? Come on.
Tracy Bell. Of which we also have pictures, and she's an extremely lovely young lady. And can I just say, guys, for the love of God, let's not treat Tracy like she's a walking no-homo, okay?
Yes.
We literally don't know anything about what's gonna happen yet, and she looks just absolutely lovely, and I'm expecting all the best things from her character.
She seems really nice as well. She's been posting on Twitter, and she seems genuinely like a nice person, so let's give her a good chance.
So let's be nice to...
I feel like... I love her name. She sounds like a fairy tale character.
She looks like a fairy tale character.
I'm pretty sure it's like kick my ass. She sounds like a fairy tale character.
She looks like
so,
you've seen her? I've put the picture up. She's really, really pretty. I'm actually really excited for this.
She's very pretty. She's adorable. She's actually, really super duper my type, so I'm just kind of, yeah.
Grabby hands. Yeah. Very exciting. Now, Kaleb was going to be here today to have a big rant and a bitch, but he's not. He's got a family thing. So we apparently have to rant and bitch for him, but not quite so fabulously. Yes, he was going to talk about...
I can do it because I've actually been a victim of some of this stuff.
Would you like...
Yeah, you can do it.
Yes, go
I'll rant and bitch for my boyfriend who had to be with his family today. Okay. So there has been a lot of news, quote unquote, that has been going around about casting and stuff for season 9. I have heard things about Sterling Knight from Disney being in the show, to Mads Mikkelsen being in the show, to Adam coming back. And as much as I want all of them to be in it, that's intense sarcasm, they are not going to be in it. They are all from fan castings, and none of them have actually been confirmed to be in the show. Everyone who has been going on there has been looking up these things from a fanon wiki that has been giving fake castings of different people. Like, there was this one post that said Adam was coming back. And in that post, in the picture that they had, I saw that Jane Levy and Mads Mikkelsen was going to be in it. And I was just like, no. And because, you see, when you see posts like this, you really need to go and you need to check before you get all of Tumblr, like, uber excited that all these people are going to be in it, only to be disappointed when they actually aren't. Because I know that a lot of people thought that Adam was going to come back when Jake Abel hasn't been confirmed to be in Season 9 at all. I know a lot of people were excited for Mads Mikkelsen to be in it, and Mads Mikkelsen isn't going to be in it at all. And the same goes with it, and the same goes with everyone who has been posting things with these so-called new cast members. Unless it's been officially confirmed, don't post.
That pretty much goes for any spoiler out there. You know, there's one big downfall to fandom in general, and it's that it tends to be kind of gullible when it comes to spoilers like this and various bits of news. So, you know, it doesn't take much effort to check out a source, to click a few links before you start, you know, reblogging saying this is absolute facts. Just check it and see.
Yeah, I felt really bad for people because they weren't just having like Adam coming back. They said you would get to see Joe and Ellen and all them as ghosts. I'm like,
and
guys.
Let's not forget. Oh, Destiel's going to be canon in episode 904, and there's going to be a massive dream sequence, and it's just there's no. As much as that would be amazing, there is no solid evidence for this. And please, you know, if you check the source, you would see it's really not a reliable source.
Oh yeah.
So.
And also, some good advice, there's a Tumblr called Fandom Debunker. If anyone's not familiar with it yet, it's just fandomdebunker.tumblr.com. And it's a group of people who check all the information for you. They check all the sources, they look for everything. If you're not sure about something, you can send them an ask, and they will make sure for you. You know, they will either debunk it for you or confirm it for you. And they're really great. Generally, if you're seeing some rumors about Season 9, either check out their blog if it's already there, you know, whether it's been confirmed or debunked, or if you don't see it there, send them an ask.
And, you know, actually, if it's a released spoiler, then you could probably go and ask one of the members of the crew on Twitter, and they'll probably confirm or deny it for you. So, that's also a good source.
Yeah.
A lot of them are online a lot of the time. So, normally if you say, oh wow, I saw this spoiler about this, if it's been released, they generally will say yes or no. So, that's always a good thing to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah.
What happens if you don't is you start to build up these unrealistic expectations for what the season's going to be. And then when the season actually starts and you realize, wait, none of the stuff that the internet told me was going to happen is happening right now, you start to get pissed off. Not at the internet, but at the show.
Yeah.
Because then you think that it's the show's fault that they didn't do what they said they were going to do. So just always try and check your facts. Go to Fandom Debunker. Go to Google.
Yeah.
That's how I check all my stuff. Google's fun. I like Google. Me and Google, we're buddies. Me and Google have drinks sometimes.
Yeah.
And by drinks, I mean juice.
So yeah, just our last bit of sort of fandom news is that Gish West is coming. Gish West is about to start. The insanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are so ready. Oh, yeah.
Already equipped to make a watermelon bikini to wear.
Yes, for the record, Profound Radio does have a team, which Kaleb ditched out on for
Yes,
some reason.
in fact, it's super awesome because everyone who's on air today is on our team. So,
Yes.
like...
So you're looking at 4 members of the Gish West team. So, yeah, bring it on, guys, and we will obviously not...
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Seriously, we've got the weirdest group of people together in one spot, and we can do anything.
Yeah, I'm actually genuinely concerned for the sanity of our team, so... Which is a good thing.
We didn't have
Gish West.
to begin with. What are you concerned for?
Anyway, on to the important part. We actually got through that really quick, so maybe we will actually get through our agenda today, which I didn't think we would. So we have the lovely... What is
Sorry.
wrong with you? So we have the lovely Tom with us here today.
Well, what you do, Shannon?
I saw something funny. Okay.
Shut
I'm on task
Shannon,
now.
I will hurt you. I will hurt you. I'm so tired. Does someone else want to try and do the interview? Because I'm just staring at it.
I can.
I'm running on an hour of sleep and 18 hours of being awake.
Yeah, Mabel, you can just, like, lay back. Like, I can do it. Shannon, do you want to do it? Because I can do it.
We could just trade off questions.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, do it one by one. Be smart.
So, like, who should start?
You can.
Yeah, okay. So, Tom, when did you start watching Supernatural?
It was just about not quite a year and a half ago. It was end of last spring, beginning of last summer. A friend had gotten me into watching the Doctor Who reboot on Netflix, and this show kept coming up in my recommendations, Supernatural. So I read the synopsis, and it's like modern supernatural horror, monster hunting, noir, world mythology, and what's the word I'm looking for? Urban legends, and it happens to have two hot Central Texas guys as the leads, and also turned out to have a lot of psychological horror and drama and just massive, psych issues, and it turned out to be like tailor-made to my interests, so I was hooked pretty quickly.
Ah, that's so neat, because that's literally the same time when I started watching.
I feel like everyone
I think
really...
End of S7 brought in a lot of new people, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
started
everyone
watching
has...
them. So.
I feel like everyone has these really cool reasons for watching, and then I'm just over here thinking I started watching it because of seeing Destiel on Tumblr and because I needed to...
Excuse you, Shannon, do you want to hear my reason for watching it? I wanted to hula hoop to get my abs to look better, and I was really bored hula hooping for an hour while just standing, so I was like, oh, watch series. Look at me now.
I was just bribed into watching it, basically. So, Anyway, moving on.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Mr. Tom, can you name...
Mr. Tom.
Do you have a problem?
Keep going.
Can you name your 3 favorite characters, Mr. Sass?
I can. Do you want me to?
Yes. That's why I asked the question.
Honestly, it's Team Free Will is my top favorite. There's a different reason to love each one, and they're so multi-layered, and they complement each other so well. Just Sam, Dean, and Cass, man. I know most of my metas, most of the writing that I do in Supernatural is on Dean, but Sam and Cass are still up there, at the very, very top of my list. Followed very closely by, and yes, I was specifically requested to mention this, by Lucifer's butt.
Oh my god.
That's beautiful.
So funny, but 1 hour of sleep just makes this hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. Like, my top 3 favorite characters are Team Free Will, just because I feel like they're really the core of the show, as much as people like to say that the core of the show is just Sam and Dean. The show is really... It really brings a lot to the characters, and I love seeing all of them go through each of their different storylines, because they each bring something different to the show every episode, and it's really nice to see all of them, and they're really the reasons that I watch the show. The side characters are awesome, but I'll always come back as long as Team Free Will's in it.
Yeah. So, on to the next question, and Shannon, it's not Mr., it's Sir. I am ashamed for you, Shannon.
No, I was never knighted.
Well, you are now. I knight you.
Tom, out of all the things concerning the word sir you're thinking about knights, I don't even know.
No, you have to be knighted to be a sir.
The rest of it is it's not stuff I want to share on the radio, so.
But we are going to talk about it later anyway. So, Who is your favorite writer?
As in, favorite writer for the show?
Yeah.
Like, Ben Edlund, hands down. I've been a fan of his since The Tick. I mean, the animated comic. The Tick. Oh, God, that show was just so good. The layouts and the character design and the dialogue was just fucking fantastic. And then I come to find out that my favorite screenwriter basically ever is writing for what's quickly become my favorite TV series ever. And it's just, yes, I mourn wailingly with a line of Roman moral just trailing behind me, the fact that Ben Edlund is no longer writing for Supernatural.
Oh my god, I completely forgot that he wasn't writing for Supernatural.
Yeah, I keep forgetting, and then I remember, and then I frowny face.
Yeah. You missed a question, by the way.
I did?
Yeah.
God!
Oh my god. Shannon, you can ask that one.
Hey. Before that, I never really had a favorite writer before.
Robbie Thompson! I'm flying the Robbie flag.
Well, like, until, like, season 8, I never really paid attention to the writers.
I just love Robbie.
I paid attention to the episodes. I never paid attention to the writers or the crew until the summer before season 8 started. So and that's when I really started getting into everything, because everyone was ranting and raving about the directors and the writers, and I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to like. So,
who's your favorite now?
Probably Ben Edlund or Robbie Thompson.
Robbie!
Good choice. Yeah, Robbie's pretty good.
I
Yeah.
just love him. He's really sweet.
Okay.
Apparently, he is actually as sweet as he seems. He's actually really nice. So I like Robbie. I'm flying that flag.
Okay, we're gonna ignore Mapal's mindless jabber.
1 hour
And
sleep.
next question. When did you start shipping Destiel?
You missed the question again.
Oh, jeez.
You missed 2 now. You missed 2. Do you read the
Really?
Yes.
We're creatively interpreting the order.
Yes.
They're in the order for a reason. I'm just gonna fill in here.
Oh, okay, no, okay, we'll not ask that question. I'll go back to the one that we missed.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
guys. Now, I didn't even notice that one was there. Do you watch the episodes live?
Yes, I do, when I get a chance. I watch them live via stream, and then I go grab them and watch them again. Usually through most of season 8, and then before that, over the summer, I actually did kind of date nights with my girlfriend, watching episodes concurrently.
I love watching. Yes, I love doing that. That is best.
I just watch them by myself. Forever.
I really, I make watching my favorite TV shows live like such a big event in my house, because I live in like the smallest town in Tennessee ever, so there's literally nothing else for me to do. So when my TV shows come on, that's literally the best parts of my week. I'll sit in my bed and I'll have my like little station made up. I'll have some chips and a drink, and occasionally my family will be in here, and we will make it like, it will be like a party.
You know what I do?
That's how.
Yeah.
Episodes.
And then you will scream every event in the episode out as it happens. And if I'm live watching with you, I hear it 2 seconds before it happens on my live stream.
Well, that's because your live stream was really laggy. I couldn't help it.
I know, baby, I know.
Tom, if you ever like watch a show with me, it's an experience.
It's so funny.
It is.
I've got to mute him.
No.
But it's so bad.
Dude, because if you start the episode and it's just like maybe a few minutes behind me, I literally scream out when big things happen. Scream out.
You will.
Give you a play-by-play of the entire episode.
You will like.
My family is like that.
I call that micro spoiling because about 3 seconds before it happens.
So yeah, that's how I watch shows. I always try to watch them live because I think it's so tedious to have to find good website to actually watch them.
It's not that
And half the time the videos don't work because for some reason my computer hates me now. So
Shannon,
I always
genius for you, 5 a.m. for me.
Yeah, you see, like, living in
the show
say...
comes on the show comes on during school nights, so after I watch it, I have to go to sleep. So we're technically in the same boat.
Well, I'm sorry, yeah, but, living in Russia and the UK, we have to, A, find our links, and B, watch it at stupid o'clock in the morning, and...
Oh, your life is so hard, because you live in another country, oh...
Shut the fuck up! In November, I get to
That's
watch it
the
at the real
fuck
time
up! My
in
life
2 weeks.
is hard because I live in another country.
I know.
It's really hard watching TV when you're in
Anyways.
England. Shush. Anyway, if you have a question, you miss.
Anyway, yeah. Moving on. Yeah, so, the next question is, do you think Supernatural should be more scary again? If yes, what should they do to achieve that?
Hells yeah. Oh, man.
See, I
The
knew you'd
primary
like
reason I
that.
got into the show what?
I knew you'd like that question. I was just, I'm going to drop that in there. There you go. I please people.
Gabriel saying hells yeah .gif.
GIF.
Aha, yes!
Yeah, that's the horror was the primary reason I got into the show, and when it kind of dropped off with season 6 to some degree, but very largely in 7 in favor of more internal struggles. And not to say that those internal struggles aren't good, important storylines, but it's a really big divergence from the Gothic Americana urban legend horror that built the basis of the show for a solid 3 years, and continued on in 4 and 5. How to continue with that? I think they need to find a way, and it seems like with this whole that this is what they're doing with the tablets arc. They need to find a way to wrap up the demons and angels meta storyline, because as long as the whole heaven versus hell, everyone's a douchebag thing is going on, that's going to dominate every other potential storyline that they have. So there are myriad ways that they could take things. It doesn't have to just be, two brothers in a car fighting a monster of the week every week for however long the story lasts, or the series lasts rather. There are endless ways that they could take things and build new stories, but right now the demons and the angels are the big thing. They can't really get away with that, or get away from that. Even when the Leviathan were the big things, things that eat angels, the whole heaven-hell thing was still a really, really dominating factor in the show. So if they can wrap that up, they can get into things that are honestly scarier, a little more cut close to the bone, human horror type stuff.
I really do miss the scare. Sometimes I really do miss the scary part of the show. Like, it's so weird because I remember one time I did an experiment. I watched season 1, and then I went and I skipped all the way to season 8 just so I could get a sort of clue as to how different they actually are. Because when you watch a show for 7 seasons, you kind of sort of get lost in the transitions that they do, and you never really notice until you sit back and you actually watch an episode from the previous season. So I watched that entire season, and I realized, oh my god, the show has gotten so different. It was so it's so strange. It was
it has gotten
I was
different.
doing a mental double take because season 1 it had such a thin storyline. And it was literally just Sam and Dean going across the country trying to find their dad and killing things. And then you get to season 8 and there's tablets and angels and demons and Crowley, and it's jarring sometimes.
Can I just say I'm actually a really big fan of that because for me, one of my favorite things about the show is how it kind of dances on the rim between the genres. And like in one episode, you get like these crazy homicidal people who hunt other people, and in another episode, you get demon and angels, and in another episode, you get a fucking unicorn. And I think they are doing a really good job with kind of continuing the show and keeping it varied like that. I'm a really huge fan of that.
Drew McRae says he loves you, Tom. Please don't kill me, him.
That's my ogre.
I need to sleep.
So it was, and I feel like the fact that the show has really changed in that way is really, really awesome. But I feel like if they did want to make it scary again, it'd have to be something that was sort of eased into, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like.
I remember.
The first episode was just absolutely terrifying. Like, I watched the first episode and I couldn't sleep. And then I watched Bloody Mary and I couldn't even watch it all the way through. So, you know...
Bloody Mary's creepy.
Yeah, but now I can just watch it and it has absolutely no effect. Like, nothing really scares me other than when Dean half turned creepy demon in, was it Trial and Error? And it's just, you know...
Oh, yeah.
That made me jump out my skin a bit, but that's the first time that's happened in a while, so... Yeah.
The last really scary episode, in my opinion, was Unforgiven in season 6, where they had that spectacular directing and the editing, where it actually looked like and felt like a horror film again.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I think the colours really don't help. Now they've changed the colours. Just I'm not scared anymore.
Yeah.
So
that's the biggest thing.
It's a shame. But...
Definitely.
Yeah, I never noticed that until Maple made that post about it. And then when I watched the 2 seasons back to back, season 1 was so dark, and now you've got season 8, and it's all colorful, and it's so strange.
I'm really colour sensitive, so I really noticed it, especially watching, because I started watching Supernatural just before season 8 started, so I basically went through all the seasons. And then it started in season 6, and it started to get brighter and brighter. Season 7 was a bit brighter, and then season 8 is just like a rainbow, and it's really painful.
To Tiger Lily, I didn't really think Bitten was that scary because I've seen so many found footage like horror films that they just stop being scary to me because because it makes me think, why in the hell does everyone bring their video camera everywhere?
Yeah, I was just like, why? What?
I remember watching Paranormal Activity 2, and I was like, not 2. I remember watching Paranormal Activity 3, and I was like, why in the hell is this video camera every fucking where? Like, Jesus Christ.
Cloverfield
and then,
was good, though. Cloverfield was good.
Cloverfield, no, I feel like Cloverfield was the worst one, because the dude was like, oh my god, there's an evil alien, I have to film all of this.
because he was like, I think the guy who had the camera was I don't know, there's something with him where he had to have the camera all the time because it was his task to have the camera. Like they say, here, have the camera, you have to film everything. So he literally took that as have to film everything. So then he obsessively had the camera on constantly, and I really quite liked it.
I remember I said to these movies, and I'm just like, put the fucking camera down and run.
I think
you'd run a lot faster if you weren't turned around trying to get a capture of the thing that's chasing after you.
Yeah, I think the last Supernatural episode I was genuinely scared of was when those kids were in the walls of that house. I think that was the last time that was the last time.
That was some freaky shit.
That was more creep factor than actually scary. The Benders was scary. And then, then after that...
The Benders were fucking scary!
I stopped being afraid of Supernatural after season 1 because I got really used to it. And I before I watched Supernatural, I had watched so many horror movies. Like, I went to this huge horror movie binge from ages like 12 to 15, and that was literally all I watched. So by the time I started watching Supernatural, very few things in the actual show scared me that much.
I think the problem is, like, like Sam and Dean can die. That's actually one of the scarier things about Supernatural. You know, they're going to come back, but they can die. But nothing, you sort of know what's happening. Nothing scares you because you know and you're confident, and you sort of know it's nothing really dangerous and they're going to beat it. There's never actual sort of any sense of jeopardy, like they could get really hurt any minute and you have no idea what the fuck's happening, and this scary thing is, you know, there's no sense of
honestly,
that anymore.
This is why Castiel related scares me a lot more, is because honestly in season 8 the one thing that really disturbed me was the whole angelic lobotomy thing.
Ooh, yeah, that was creepy.
That was just really disturbing.
That's what I liked about Season 8. Like, Season 8 was horrifying in a completely psychological way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
And that made me so happy. Like, I remember being so freaked out when, I think it was in Torton Frayed, when Castiel was, like, cowered. Like, he was cowered all over the corner, and
seeing a seraph cower in the corner, just on the verge of hysterics, holding his head. Think, what does it take to make a being that old and that powerful cower like that? That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freaked me out, and then I, like, got really, really excited when he killed Samantrio later.
But, you know, it's why I wish you could see more of sort of, you know, Dean's PTSD and stuff, and, you know, the fallout from Hell and Purgatory, because that could have been, you know, just as interesting and creepy and cool. But no.
Oh, can I just say another thing? That honestly, for me, the ultimate panic attack moment was when Cass was screaming for Dean when they were leaving Purgatory, and we got that preview with Cass. I'm not kidding when I say I had a panic attack over that. I had never had panic attack symptoms in my life, but I watched that fucking thing, and I was completely out of it.
You see, that was scary because you had no idea what was happening, and you just sort of like, you sat there like, oh my god, what is happening? So.
Yes, because you had never seen Cass scream before, and you're like, is something eating him from behind? Is he falling somewhere?
I thought a Leviathan was eating him, and I'm just like, oh my god, I don't want to watch this.
Yeah.
So, like, if the Leviathan was eating Cass, I would have been very depressed. But I also would have been really excited.
Shannon. Yeah, true. But am I the only one who was hoping the Leviathan would look different in Purgatory?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that is to say, no, you were not the only one. I did, very much.
I wasn't surprised.
I wasn't surprised. I just wish they'd done more of... You know that episode of Doctor Who where... It was one of the recent ones I actually did watch, where it was sort of the pocket universe that was collapsing. And there was that creepy time. Yeah, that was shit scary, and I wish the Leviathan had been a bit like that in Purgatory. Sort of not quite there, and sort of all teeth and terrifying, and you never actually saw them. I think that would have been cool. But
I really wasn't that surprised.
No.
Because I feel like the Leviathan, honestly, I feel like unless they have to, they try to stay out of their really true form, just because it's a lot. I feel like it's a lot easier for them to just.
Yeah, but in Purgatory, they are what they are in Purgatory, and I just think they could have made it really
chalk
scary.
it up to a budget thing.
It is
you know, they only have so much money to spend on the CGI, and you know the Leviathan should be the least human-looking things out there. I dig Kripke's idea that the monsters are basically from elder gods to ghosts and poltergeists and stuff. Most of these things are basically human. But the Leviathan are just so out there that they should have been much, much different.
And
given a couple $1 million a year more in budget, I'm sure they could have done that. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
That's what fan art is for.
True.
Okay, sorry, I'm interrupting too much. Can I say something to Tiger Lily? She said they never dealt with the Leviathans that got left behind. I kind of picture them, because I remember, I forgot who said it in Season 7, but they said that once I think it was Crowley, once you take down the leader, the Leviathan are basically like regular monsters.
Yeah,
I feel like Leviathan sort of just became a norm in the monster community, like, once people realized how to fight them back, they just hunted them. Because I remember Kevin, he would when Sam and Dean first found him, he sprayed them with that chemical stuff.
Borax.
Borax.
Yeah. Huh?
Borax, yeah.
And then I felt like they had just become another monster. So that's what I feel like happened with the Leviathan, because I feel like without Dick Roman, they sort of really had no purpose because it was always my headcanon that they were functioned on a hive mind that all went back to Dick Roman. And then when Dick Roman was gone, they were like, no idea what to do.
Kind of like killing a Borg queen, I think. They're dangerous as hell on their own. Even far more so when you get them in a group and get them working together. But
here's a thought.
They have this one head.
I was going to say, what if a lot of them, without their leader, what if a lot of them committed suicide to go back to Purgatory to be back with their leader?
I could definitely picture them all bibbing themselves because they had no idea what to do.
They have no idea what to do.
That's actually really curious.
Yeah.
I think it's more likely that without Dick to make them cohesive, because if you watch the early episodes of the Leviathan's involvement in episodes 10, I actually think it's a lot of this is in either Hello Crew World or it's Hello Crew World. They're basically having trouble reining themselves in because they are just hunger. Yeah. They are a predatory need to devour and destroy creation. They are end. And without Dick Roman, I think they would just kind of go off the deep end and just try to eat and destroy everything they could indiscriminately and not have a plan. So that kind of in turn makes them a bit easier to hunt, especially once hunters start, spreading the news of how to kill them. So that's probably what happened to them. They just, went feral and got put down one by one.
And to Tiger Lily again, Eve, she said that wasn't Eve a Leviathan. Eve was not a Leviathan. It's always been my headcanon. It's always been my headcanon that God didn't banish Adam. That when God banished Adam and Eve out of Eden in supernatural canon, He actually turned Eden into purgatory, and that's when Eve and Adam created all of the monsters. Yeah. What happened to Adam, I don't know, but that's always been my headcanon. I feel like it fits in with the show. The Leviathan are some of the oldest beings in the universe. God created them, and God imprisoned them. And I feel, and Eve, and they are older than Eve, just as they are older than the angels.
Yeah.
That's why they're so powerful. I really think the only other being besides God that can actually completely wipe them out of existence is death.
Death.
Yeah.
Just because death can wipe out of existence.
You know what I would have liked to have seen is the Leviathan sort of reverting back to that insanity we saw when they were in Cass. The sort of really uncontrolled insanity. Just absolutely insane monsters that are just so suicidal, sort of on a kamikaze run, basically. I would have loved to have seen more of that, maybe, in Season 8. Just sort of mopping up the insanity that's left behind, basically. So, I don't know. We got so off topic.
Yeah.
Oh, we should probably go back to the questions.
Yes, we should.
Do you know where we are?
So you ask the next one, Shannon.
Yeah, I think so.
That was the should it be more scary again?
Yeah, we're on to the Destiel now, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you start shipping Destiel?
First inklings of it was, I started watching Supernatural independent of fandom. I was like, okay, I'm going to watch this. I know some people are into it on Tumblr. I'm going to stay the hell away from them and just watch this on my own. So me watching up till I got to Season 7 was completely independent of fandom. And I was an anti-shipper from when I discovered the whole thing back in the late 90s or so till late last year, mid last year. First inklings of it came in watching The End. It was the line. There was two things. The line, put your friends into the grinder, cast 2, and I went, wait. And then the end of that episode where, the look that those two share, and I went, wait, and then kind of forgot about it for a bit. Until sometime around Season 6, I realized that I was just about mid-Season 6, around the French Mistake or so, I realized that I was thinking to myself, you two just need to shut up and kiss each other and make up, you fucking idiots. And then I stopped and went, oh my god, I've become one of those fans.
Yeah, like an infection.
So after a bit of an existential crisis, I was like, fuck, okay, yeah, I ship Dean/Cass, and then went looking around and was like, oh shit, a whole lot of people do this. So.
Oh dear.
With my shipping experience started when I was younger and I watched Naruto. I shipped Naruto and Sasuke, and that was called gay shipping yaoi because that's anime.
Oh, baby.
So I was one of those people that called all like gay things yaoi things. I was the worst one ever.
Well, that's because that's what happens when you go to the internet and you're 16. At 15, 16, I was like that too.
You see, that's
okay.
I realised I started shipping when I watched Digimon. I realised the other day that... I realised I started with Digimon. I shipped everything on that show. Oh, God.
I remember having this sort of thing when I started shipping Dean and Cass. I was like, oh my god, I've been shipping since I was like 5. Because when I was 5, I used to be that little romantic kid who always wanted one person to get with the other, and I always just get really, really sad whenever they didn't. Then I realized that was like a precursor to what my life was going to become.
Aww.
Wow. So yeah, I heavily base 5-year-old me off me now. The only difference between 5-year-old me and me now is that the me now is like, it gets really excited over different things. We'll just say that.
I hope 5-year-old you didn't have a boyfriend either. That's cute but a bit freaky.
I was married. Like when I was 5, I had those fake marriages. So really, I wasn't that different. I didn't know what kissing was.
Oh god.
Okay, we're gonna stop talking about 5-year-olds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, what would you say is your most painful headcanon? Mapal, did you enjoy making up these questions?
I did, because I knew they'd be interesting with him.
So, what is your most painful headcanon?
I'd have to, create a list of them, because, holy shit, I've got some bad ones.
I love them all.
Oh, jeez. Honestly, I think my very, very worst ones are about the connection between and the amount of time the destinied lead up between Lucifer and Sam, but also pretty much my entire theory on Dean's upbringing and how he became so psychologically damaged, the sort of abuses that he suffered through childhood and into adulthood and continuing on. But mostly I just think of, the idea that a being was created, I'm going to estimate about 13 billion years ago when the known universe was created, or shortly thereafter, up to, say, about 4.6 to 5 billion years ago, which is when between the age of the Earth's creation and the sun's ignition. So, Archangel, being created to serve, created specifically to sing the praises of what it believes unflinchingly to be its perfect father, its perfect creator, basking in the glory of perfection and light and love, praised in return as the brightest and most beautiful and most loyal, and it's given, billions of years pass, everything is perfect, then come these nasty little critters, and Daddy gets so proud of them, and they're so nasty. But because someone put it, imagine your dad brings home 100 ferrets and says, you have to love them. And you're just like, Dad, you need to get rid of the ferrets. And he kicks you out of the house. So no one got boned over more than he did. He had standing orders for billions and billions of years and was suddenly told, no, you need to completely disregard that and not only love, but exalt and bend knee to and serve these nasty little critters that are so much smaller and pettier and less than you in all ways, because I love them more than you. And he couldn't quite handle that. He was given conflicting orders, so he defaulted back and said, I can't do that. I'm sorry, I can't. He told me to do this. And I got into hell for it. And then thousands and thousands of years, tens of thousands of years later, the one that he's known from the start would be his salvation is the one to let him out. And less than a year later, the one who was to be salvation, his last gift from his perfect father, was the one to put him back in.
Oh, that's so sad. I feel so bad for Lucifer.
Welcome to my life!
I always feel bad for Lucifer anyway, but that just made it 10 times worse.
Yeah. I just imagine that somewhere in the outside world, people will look like we're this big group of devil worshippers.
It's like, I feel so bad for Lucifer.
He's such a good guy and everyone treats him like crap.
He was the most fucked up part of it is that he cared more about the consent and the well-being and the happiness of his true vessel than any 1,000 other angels ever did. More than Michael did. Michael was just, basically saying, yeah, whatever, I'll throw you some scraps. Lucifer wanted Sam to be happy and still got thrown back in.
Yeah.
So he got boned, man.
No.
That fucking hurts.
I chalk up the fact that Michael wasn't that great of an angel as being the fact that the writers were really lazy in not including him in the story.
No, I just think Michael was an asshole, to be honest.
I would have loved to have seen Michael appear to Dean just like Lucifer appeared to Sam. Because I feel like that would have been very, very interesting throughout the season, just to see both of them and how they both treated. Like, you could have had it would have been really cool. You could have had Michael have been the asshole who threatened Dean, and then you could have had Lucifer have been the really nice guy who was basically trying to just get Sam to say yes, and he was trying to be really nice about it.
But dude, Dean's arc was different in the sense that he was until the very last moment unaware of Heaven's real policy, so he had to have Zechariah try and butter him up to go through with it.
Yeah, they did make a comparison as well of Lucifer killing Gabriel and Michael killing Anna. Mm-hmm. And they made that comparison because Michael showed no remorse when he killed Anna, and Lucifer was really, really
upset. Lucifer cried.
Yeah, Lucifer cried when he killed Gabriel. So let's not go there. Let's go on to the next question.
I feel like they're both two spectrums on the same scale. You've got Lucifer, who loved his father so much that he was willing to defy his father's wishes just to show how much he loved his father, because he didn't want to love anything more than him. Then you've got Michael, who loved his father so much he did everything that he said, even though you could tell he didn't want to, and he would do it to the point where he would kill the rest of his family just because he loved his father so much. It was it's really cool the more you think about the angels. I really love them.
Yeah.
Even though they're evil bastards.
Oh yeah, so Shannon, you ask the next one.
Okay. Okay. If you could change one thing about Supernatural now, what would it be?
The saturation levels.
Yes, thank you.
I've been shorting out.
Thank you.
Okay. If I have to pull that back, I get rid of the racism and misogyny issues.
That's true.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
But that aside, those are some major issues. If it was just like a minor thing, the hue and saturation and contrast levels, I would bring them back to around what they were in season 2 or so, and bring it back to more of a Kim Manners style of direction overall.
Yes. Approve. Next question, because we are slowly running out of time.
Okay.
We've got like
what?
for an hour.
Yeah, and have you seen what the last bit is?
But we have a lot of... Yeah, but we have a lot of fan work to talk about. So, anyways, what monster of the week would you be?
If you don't think I'd be a Leviathan, you're wrong.
No, I didn't think so.
You just looking at your picture, you would be a Leviathan.
I got the Leviathan vibe from like just your blog.
Yeah.
What is he like this?
Like, I remember when you were first on our show and I went on your blog for the first time after we were done, I was like, oh, well, this is creepy.
That's the idea.
Maybe he's like this all-consuming thing with loads of teeth. That's the impression I get. So Leviathan.
Basically, yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
That's cool. That's cool. So cool. Next.
What was your first impression when you joined the fandom?
I actually got into the meta side of fandom first, which turned out to be a really good thing. So my first impression was, wow, there's some really, really thoughtful and academia-minded people in this. This is cool. This is not what I expected. It was a real pleasant surprise. And then later on, I found, the more negative and more expected and some unexpected aspects of fandom. But, having gotten that good grounding in the best portions of the fandom, I think that the talents that people bring to creating content based on the canon and just really analyzing the canon in an academic fashion, that was its saving grace.
Cool.
Yeah, agreed, to be honest.
I remember when I went from the Hunger Games fandom to it's really weird. Like, I think you guys have all read my, well, I know at least, like, 2 of you have. You guys all read that, big essay thing that I wrote that caused a little bit of controversy, which I was kind of proud of. Never had anything that caused controversy before.
I'm proud of you.
Anyway. I remember, I think I left the Hunger Games fandom because it was so terrible. And then I went to the Supernatural fandom, and I was really, really happy and excited. And then it was like, oh my god, no. Soon later on, I was just like, I can't do this anymore. But yeah.
I made a great mistake.
Anyway.
Like, I wish that more people watched Arrested Development, because I would totally put up that gif of one of the characters, her name is Lucille, and like close to the end, she's just like, I made a big mistake. And then, but yeah, I don't really consider me being in the fandom a mistake anymore, because when I was in the Hunger Games fandom, I already had my real life friends were also in the Hunger Games fandom, so I never tried to make any friends with anyone in fandom because I always had them. And my blog somehow got dragged into all the ship wars between the penis shippers and the Gale Katniss shippers. And for those of you who
Penis shippers?
penis
I'm just stuck on that. Yes, the penis shippers.
Silven stopped listening like 2 minutes ago.
And I remember, so I was finished with the Hunger Games. I came into this one. It was really awesome at first. I did some stuff that I'm not going to mention on here because I don't want to start anything. But I realized there's a lot of problems in this fandom. And when I say that, there's problems, I mean there's problems that they have in every fandom. It's just this fandom seems to have them like more. I guess I can see them more intensely in this fandom because I'm not in other fandoms anymore. I see you're typing in the chat, Tom, and it's making me laugh. Basically, I've talked about my problems with the fandom in the past show. So basically, I'm going to chalk it all down to people blame the crew too much, people expect the crew to do things for them and then hate on them when they don't. I'm not saying everyone does. There's just a bunch of problems that I really don't feel like bringing up because it's supposed to be a happy time, and when you have defilerwyrm on.
Yeah. So let's go on to the next question, which is, what do you love?
Next question,
what do you love about
getting
the
into
fandom?
that.
Yeah, what do you love about the fandom? What's the good things?
Man, well, I think as I kind of went on about earlier, just the amount of creativity that this fandom has is immense, and not just as I said, the academic pursuits of really well-researched and well thought-out and extremely insightful metafictional analysis, but the stunning artwork that some artists produce, the massive amounts of fan fiction, some of which is, before this I never read fan fiction. It wasn't really something I was interested in, but there's some really, really good fanfic out there. The songs, the swag, as they're calling it these days, the apparel and the crafts, the craftiness, and just the dedication and family vibe that this has. Even when we're at each other's throats, this is still a family, and it's a very artsy family, and that's really awesome to me.
Can I just say, you reminded me of that guy who was in Mapal and the Real Girl that's just like kids nowadays with their texting and their murder.
When they're texting and murder.
The fandom nowadays with their swag or whatever.
One of the things I really, really love about the fandom is that unless it's about a ship, no one really judges it.
Yeah.
Like when I say this, people who, I remember before I joined this fandom, I really didn't know anything about I really didn't know anything about anything really. I was barely into gay rights. I was barely into sex. And when I say that I was into sex, I mean I didn't know that much about sex. I don't mean I'm you know what I mean.
Keep the child pornography out of here. Yes.
And then I remember I didn't know that much about anything. I didn't know about online friends. I didn't know about anything. I really feel like this fandom, as well as most fandoms, really are can be an open place for people to go as long as you find your spot in the fandom. If you're a Destiel shipper, you're definitely not going to be happy in the Wincest part of the fandom. Or if you're a non-shipper, you're not going to mesh well with very many people in just the shipping communities. It's I feel like once you find your place in the fandom and once you have your niche, I guess, it's a great place. I know so much more than I did a year or two ago.
Yeah. Can I just say I hugely agree, because I don't know what's happening in the other parts of fandom, because I think we're kind of sitting in our little sandpit here.
Yes.
But basically we do so much of mutual educating and self-educating, and just we have a fucking great fandom, seriously.
It's just, I remember being so worried about having online friends. Because when I was younger, my parents and a lot of people that I talked to would always tell me that having online friends means that you're a loser because you can't go out and make real friends.
No, we're cool.
And I remember no, I'm not saying that.
Yes,
I remember
it's true.
It's true.
I'm trying to have a profound conversation here, mate.
Can tell your friends. Can tell your parents your friends with a Russian. Can tell them I got connections in the KGB.
I just cause I I moved here to Tennessee, which is when I really started to get into the supernatural fandom because, as I've said, I don't have any other life anymore because there's nothing else to do here. I remember being so creeped out because I was starting to get to the point where I would rather be on my computer talking to my online friends and, like, out and doing things because I never used to be that type of person. But really, this place sort of showed me that it's okay. It's okay to have online friends. It's okay to want to stay inside and be on your computer. I mean, I'm not saying that it's healthy to, like, only be in your computer and to shut yourself off from the outside world and to never look at the sunlight. But
We don't talk about that.
but I'm saying the thing and everything.
See, I like the way Drew just put it in chat. Having online friends means that your personality transfers over copper.
That's just super cool, yes. That's an awesome way of putting it.
I'm confused. Could someone explain that to me?
Copper wires.
Well, copper wires, yes. It means that you have such a bright personality that you can actually convey it to people through, like, letters and emoticons and Skyping, you know.
Oh, okay.
If you have a laptop, you can take your computer outside. Yeah, we are living in 2013 here.
Yeah.
Hey, I can't take my laptop outside. The sun glares on it.
That's true. Can I just say, actually, regarding fandoms, I actually feel really lucky to be in the supernatural fandom now because I was saying in the chat, I was in the Big Bang Theory fandom just before I joined the supernatural fandom, and I shipped Shenny. Now, can I just say, if you ship Shenny in the Big Bang Theory fandom, you are basically like a leper. They basically treat you like a leper. And it's...
Wait, you shipped Sheldon and who?
Penny.
No.
You what?
Sheldon and Penny. See, this is the problem.
I've never heard of that ship.
Why? It's a really popular ship. But the problem is, obviously... Yes, see, Shenny shippers! There are Shenny shippers in the thing. And the problem is, like, Sheldon and Amy became canon, and then basically the Shenny shippers just got shit on repeatedly, and it's just horrific. So actually,
Yikes.
they get Shenny shippers get treated a lot worse than, say, how some Destiel shippers get treated by the really extreme brother stands and stuff. They get treated worse.
Yeah.
So it's horrific. So I feel quite lucky, actually. So, you know.
Can I just say, before the supernatural fandom, I wasn't the Rush America fandom was surrounded by people who wanted to hump me. Now that the supernatural fandom, when basically the same thing is happening, and it's super.
Yeah.
Supernatural fandom made me like 10 times more confident than I used to be.
I know, right?
I used to be like, people used to say that I was extremely confident, but I really wasn't. Like, they said I was confident because I could go in front of people and I can act and I could give speeches, but like I was one of the most like insecure people ever. And now this entire fandom has just made me literally like give no fucks.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
okay.
just gonna...
Okay, like, I was obviously socially anxious, never left the house, never did anything, and now I take my top off and post it online. So,
Yes!
you know, character development.
Yes, absolutely.
But
And now you're gonna do Gishwas, and
Yes.
you're gonna
Yeah.
wear kale outside, look for men with ginger mustaches while you're doing it. I don't know.
Maybe ride a horse naked, who knows. So, yeah, but I just wanted to say as well, we're again lucky with Supernatural, and I just wanted to say this, because I was going to say this in the middle of the week on my blog, and I forgot, right, we have a misogyny problem, whatever, but can I just say that the Big Bang Theory regularly abuses an autistic character, and uses him for comedic relief, so actually we're pretty lucky with Supernatural, again, that it's not as bad as it could be. And also, I want to say again about the Destiel thing not being canon yet, I'm still waiting for Gisborne to be canon on The Mentalist, and we're going into season 6 soon, and it's still not canon, and it should be, since episode 1. So, that's my 2 cents for the day.
No one cares about your other show's problems, Maple.
I'm just saying that actually we're really lucky, and we should hold out hope for Destiel, because Gisborne isn't canon yet. So until Gisborne's canon, I don't, you know, so, it's cool.
I mean, guys, for the love of God, Mulder and Scully.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I've been rewatching the X-Files, and I was middle school and early high school age when it was on the air, and so of course I
on the air a long
knew
time
nothing.
ago.
fuck you. So, of course, back then I was, had no idea of the romance thing. I was just not romance-minded at all. But looking back, watching it again now, I can see why there was this huge split in the fandom between those that were like, these two need to get it on like yesterday, and those that were, of course, going, no, romance ruins everything.
Yeah.
So.
Just because it got brought up in the chat again, I just want to say that actually Supernatural. Someone said, "Oh, what about Cass being used as comedic relief and being written as slightly autistic?" I'm like, okay, has anyone actually watched The Big Bang Theory lately? Because
No.
that is painful.
I've never watched the show.
It's incredibly painful. Basically, they regularly, every episode they bully an autistic man, and totally ignore the alcoholic tendencies of the only female character who was in it from the start, and use her for sex, and it's horrific. So, good on you, Supernatural. You're not actually that bad. You could be a lot worse. A lot.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
I think we can skip the last question in the experience thing.
we have already talked about it. Yes, a lot. So anyway, can I hit it? Can I do the next one?
Yes, you can.
Can I hit it?
I'll join in too.
That was
later.
so adorable.
Okay.
Can I?
No, because it's a thing that Tom and I talk about in private. So
No, but it was
anyway,
like, can I?
So we're gonna go into the fan work section of the questionnaire. Shut up, Maple.
You're so cute.
Yes, and so the first topic we would love to discuss with you is about DS in fan work, because
Speaking my language.
huh?
It's his language.
Speaking my language.
Yeah. Yes. So about misconceptions and correct information, good examples, fic recs, all the crap people are actually into it have to deal with in fanfiction. Can we please talk about that? Because no.
I'll try not to take up too much time with this. Y'all might have to rein me in, because I could conceivably talk for a long, long time about this topic.
Dude, we have 3 questions left in 50 minutes, so go.
Okay, so I've already spilled out 10,000 words or so on this. Probably more close to on Meta on this. Most of which is angry ranting about, no, you're doing it wrong, stop that. So,
Yeah.
3 of the biggest misconceptions about DS, which for those not familiar stands for dominance and submission, which is part of BDSM, first is that it's equal to abuse. DS can mirror elements of abuse. As a matter of fact, the tactics that a Dom uses to put a sub under into subspace can often be very similar to psychological torture tactics, which is why aftercare is so vitally important. And talking about things beforehand and taking care of your sub afterward. Because it's not supposed to be abusive. A lot of people think that DS is all about, putting a sub down, making them feel like nothing. And sometimes for some people, that's what they want. But it's mutually agreed upon. It is always, always, always supposed to be done with consent. The law of BDSM in general is called SSC, safe, sane, and consensual. So DS is not supposed to be abusive, and if it is, you're doing it wrong. The second is conflating top versus bottom with Dom versus sub. Being a top does not mean you're a Dom. Being a bottom does not mean you're a sub. You can have top and bottom without having a Dom and sub, and you can have Dom and sub without having a top and bottom. Those two things are completely completely different. Often they go along with each other, but not necessarily. You can mix and match a lot, or they can just exist without each other, and that's fine. There is a lot of variety to both sex and BDSM, and where they overlap, you get even more variety, and it's awesome. Yes, Tiger Lily, but BDSM comprises bondage and discipline, dominance and submission, and sadism and masochism. So let's see, there's the top versus bottom, and the third one is, what was it? Oh yeah, the third thing is that what happens to someone or what one does to someone else non-consensually has any fucking thing to do with how they are in bed. Thank you very much. So if you've ever looked at, we're going to take the worst of these is the alley fight, the infamous, highly homoerotically charged alley fight from I think it was 517, the one where Dean is going to go to Michael and Cass loses his shit and just beats the crap out of him. And I've seen a lot of people hold this up as, oh, look at that, Cass is such a top, he's such a dom. Like, no, fuck you, stop that, it's so gross. So horrible to equate.
I'm sorry I screamed, but I can't with that.
Two or more people consensually in sexual play of any variety with a fight. Or, oh, look, Dean gets put on his ass all the time, and oh, he got held against the wall. He's such a sub. He's such a bum. No. Stop. So bad.
Can I just make tiny interlude here? Because, guys, the thing people don't understand is that people who have a lot of pressure on them in real life and a lot of responsibilities actually aim to achieve the opposite in their private life. There's a movie, Tokyo Babylon, about a working dominatrix for hire whose biggest clientele is CEOs from, like, huge companies, or, like, business gods who get off on her humiliating them. So just please remember that.
I mean, I get really confused because I really don't understand why people seem to have these misconceptions. Like,
Shannon, it's because they're not into it and they don't have personal experience with it.
It's a combination of ignorance of the subculture itself and a very disturbing misconceptions about what constitutes consent. Like, there's this whole, well, he doesn't fight back. Well, you know, there's reasons for that. And that doesn't mean that he likes getting beaten up. That doesn't mean that he's a masochist. Yeah, it might mean that he's got a suicidal streak a mile wide, but that doesn't mean that he likes getting beaten up while having sex. Those are two completely different things, and they should never be equated unless in a specific individual's instance that they have shown that it does, which in Dean's case, he has not. I think we should probably move on to good examples, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually try to avoid DS in BDSM in general in fanfic for two reasons. One, regardless of the fact that I'm a major bondage bunny, I don't really feel that those sets of kinks really fit the characters. So, and the other reason is that it's so often done so badly, so I don't have too many fics to wreck. And unfortunately, I'm not that big into Cass as a dom. But the two really, really well-written SPN fanfics that I do have to wreck, where it's done really well, are Keep Looking for Water, or it's either Keep Looking for Water or Keep On Looking for Water, I forget.
I think it's
which is just straight up plot.
Yeah.
It's PWTP, whatever, but it's a really, it's a neat look where I like the fact that the Dean character, and I say the Dean character because it's a human AU, so you really could just substitute whatever other names that wouldn't matter to the story. But the Dean character has these moments of just realizing realizing what we're doing here is really kind of ridiculous, and I can, that's a very realistic outlook on that. It feels good, but wow, this is really silly. So like he's not that far into subspace all the time, and that's neat to me. And then Carry On is really, really excellent. I think Carry On is like the polar opposite of 50 Shades of Grey, where they tackle some deep DS arrangement relationship, and everything that they bring up things like subdrop, aftercare, past traumas, and various things like that, and the author deals with them in a mature, realistic, and respectful manner. And let's face it, the Cass character is basically the best Dom ever. Like,
oh my god, I would kill a person to have a Dom like that. I am not ashamed to say this.
Jesus, he's so good. It's such a good Dom.
He's so perfect.
He really is. So yeah, that's DS fic done right.
Yeah.
And you can. I think with completely different characters, non-praise heavy DS would work well. But if you're going to have Dean in any kind of a DS fic, it's got to be with praise kink, because he likes praise. He wants to be good.
Yes.
He wants to not necessarily be impressive. That's not really his thing. He doesn't care that much, but he likes being praised. He likes being acknowledged for the things that he does, and his talents, and his intelligence. So,
can I just say, I think the reason why praise kink is so grossly underestimated and so rarely used in DS fics is because of the general misconceptions of society about DS, because people think that it's all about humiliating and making someone feel like shit, when in reality, to a lot of subs, being praised is very important, because, it feels amazing, and I'm basically literally Dean. If I'm reading DS fic and I never see praise kink in it, I'm weirded out, because it's like, where's the gratification? I did well,
Yeah, kind of. I'm sort of the same. I'm a sub, obviously, but I don't really want to be abused, which is what happens in a lot of fics. So
Yeah. I feel like it would be very strange to read a DS fic in the Supernatural fandom and Dean not get praised, because it seems like it'd be something that he'd really need during the actual process. And I'm really feeling like, and I'm just really glad that I don't read too many fics, because it sounds like not many of them are.
And
not many of them are good.
Yeah, some are really awkward as well. They're really just, they don't you can tell they're not really comfortable with what they're doing, and it's
Can I just squeeze in a little tiny fic rec? There's because both of these fics we're talking about, they're amazing, and they are Domcast Subdean. There is a good fic for Subcast Domdean, and it's called Wishbone, and it is a really good quality fic, because it has all the right elements in it. They discuss it. It has the psychological element of it. There's just spanking, and it's not a long fic, but it's a psychological thing. It's about emotions. It's about Cass trying to atone for what he's done. It's done right. Just check it out. Yeah.
okay.
I have not been able to squeeze in time to read that one yet, but it's on my list.
Yeah, I've read a bit of it. It seemed really good. So, anyway, shall we move on to the next little?
Yep.
Yes, because I was going through your meta tag, and I was like, there's something we haven't really talked about yet that I want to talk about, which is angels and their true form and how they possess, and your falling headcanons, because I sort of, rambled. I went through your meta and read it, and I was really interested, and I think you should share it with the world if they haven't read it yet, because it's awesome.
Oh, yes.
It's really awesome.
Yeah, it was. Thank you. I was really bad and fucked around a lot this summer and did not finish my thesis for that magazine, the paper. But oh well, it'll be something for me to complete later on. So I think this is one of those things that occurred to me in the shower while I was just thinking about whatever. And it was just like being struck by a bolt of lightning. It actually ties into the coda to one of my fics, where I realized I was trying to figure out how exactly, on a mechanical basis, do angels possess humans if they are if they exist primarily as wavelengths. So I got to thinking, humans are particulate, but we're not truly solid. There's, we're mostly space. Like somewhere between 70 and 90% of our makeup is just empty space in between the atoms and between the subatomic particles. There's just so much empty space in us, even though, you poke yourself and your finger stops because there's enough there to interfere, but there's a lot of room. And then I got to thinking, angels are, multidimensional wavelength of celestial intent, so that implies non-particulate. So the epiphany there was that how angelic possession works is they compress themselves to inhabit the spaces in between the particles, the solid particles that make up a human being. And the reason why Nick, for example, was not able to contain Lucifer without melting down, like he was barely able to as Lucifer said, it was barely. It's a miracle that he wasn't spontaneously combusting at any given point. He was literally melting from the inside, like he was being exposed to radiation. The burns were like radiation burns, because that's what was happening. This being, which exists on such a large range within its field, within its spectrum. Sorry. By the time, I'm kind of rambling here. Let me pin that down. So the problem with measuring with wavelengths penetrating solid matter, particularly human flesh, is that the longer the wave, the more likely it is to bounce off of solid matter. The shorter the wave, the more disruptive it is. So if you get, by the time that an electromagnetic wave is a short enough frequency to pass in between all those little spaces, between our cells, between our muscle fibers, between our atoms, it's vibrating so swiftly that it basically just acts like a chainsaw, gets inside and destroys you at a cellular level or even below. It's where you get radiation burns. That's why nuclear radiation is so dangerous and why we get sunburns. Because it's basically like having a fire inside you. And that's what having an angel inside would be like, hence being chained to a comet. It fucking hurts. Yeah. It scrambles your brain. It scrambles your insides. So then the question was, okay, go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, it's pretty genius, really, and you solved my sort of long question of how do the bloodlines with the angels work, and why do only some people, why are they only capable of holding angels, and only particular angels, and you said something about the frequencies.
Exactly.
And I was like, that is actually just a breakthrough. It's the frequencies, and I was just like, that makes so much sense.
Exactly, and the thing with the vessels is that there's a principle in physics that two objects cannot occupy the same place at the same time unless their frequencies match.
Yeah.
So the thing with vessels that's passed down genetically somehow is the oscillation of their cells and atoms matches the frequencies of a particular angel. Thus, the closer they match, the more well suited they are to holding that angel inside them without degrading. And of course, lesser angels are less of a danger to their vessel, and more powerful angels require a more perfect match.
Yeah, because the more specific and
That is
more,
so awesome.
Yeah. It's such an awesome theory, isn't it? It's basically like solved. But then where does
It's amazing.
Yeah, where does this? Yes, sorry, Silven.
Yeah, can I just say, this really fits neatly and makes sense with Metatron's quote from, was this 822, where Metatron said to Sam, "You're resonating."
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
it screeched.
Yes.
But I should mention, I brought up the frequencies of electromagnetic radiation, but I think in order for this to work, they have to exist on a separate parallel spectrum to electromagnetic radiation, and also bear in mind that they can change their shape basically and compress themselves. So there's a hypothetical parallel spectrum that that's comprised of spiritual phenomena such as the physical forms of angels, of human souls, corrupted human soul forms such as ghosts, poltergeists, vengeful spirits, and then demons. That instead of ranging from long frequency to short frequency, it's measured from divine to profane.
Oh.
So where does your theory of the wavelengths and everything tie into how the angels fell? Especially at the end of season 8, where they suddenly fell, whereas, you also have the popular fandom theory of gradual falling. So sort of what is your opinion on how that works?
So that's kind of what kind of fucks with me, because the angels have either 2 or 3 parts, depending on whether or not you're considering the consciousness to be a third component of both humans and angels and monsters with consciousness. They have their bodies, which are their bodies are the wavelength part. Their grace is what actually powers them. Falling is removing that grace and forcing because there are a number of ways to fall. That's one of those weird things that SVN has done, that Supernatural's done, is that they've established that there are, at least 3 different types of falling. There's the way that Gabriel and Lucifer fell, which is basically they just either got kicked out of heaven or left heaven and had all of their powers intact. There's the way that Cass fell in season 5, which was just that he was getting cut off. There's the way that he fell at the end, which is that he got cut off completely and his grace extinguished, so he was basically a decaying angel inside of a human vessel with the soul, the human soul powering basically keeping the angel body alive, but without the grace to give him his angelic powers and identity. And then there's the way that Anna fell, where she ripped her own grace out and then basically took a human soul for her own, which basically proves out that in Supernatural's universe, life, quote unquote, begins at conception, because there would have to be a human soul for her to not destroy the fetus, and the mom for that matter. And then there's the way that the angels fell when Metatron had them kicked out, which was that they fell with their grace intact, but their wings ripped off. and they apparently are getting shoved into vessels if they hadn't claimed vessels already. So that's there's probably different mechanics for each way, but for the most part, I think it involves the fact that the human soul acts as a battery for the angel to keep itself there in the body without ripping it apart.
Yeah, and it's as someone who loves science, it's sort of really interesting to see it differently as as power sources, as like souls and grace as power sources, and the waves, and it's really fucking interesting actually.
I'm just having like one big braingasm. Like seriously,
this is amazing. It's just a nerd bonus completely. It's just I know. Lauren's like, I wish someone from like the powers that be was listening. I just really
from your ears to Josh's mouth, or from your mouth to their ears.
Yes.
I really love that. Like that is literally one of the best things I've ever heard ever. Because
it's amazing.
I am such a science. I'm the biggest science person ever. I love science so much, and to hear like scientific explanations as to why things happen in Supernatural is just like
it just makes so much sense, because when you think about it
one of my friends is watching but not in chat, and he is declared me a fucking nerd.
But it's cool. Okay, no, you can back it up further by obviously if angels are these wavelengths that can basically manipulate matter and radio waves and all this, it explains their powers and their abilities to do things as well, especially like pyrokinesis and things like this. So it all makes sense actually.
Yeah,
it all makes a lot of sense. I will force Russ Hamilton to listen to this broadcast and pass it on, because we're geniuses.
Sweet.
Yes.
He needs something to do. Obviously he needs something to do, he's not busy enough as it is. So yeah, that was really interesting. So if anyone hasn't read the whole meta yet, who's doing the links today, because Caleb's not here?
I would say that I was doing them, but then I realized that I have to like not do them, so I'm not going to.
Oh my god, I need to sleep. I need to sleep after this. Oh my god, I will try my best to post the links, because they're really, really worth it.
I think I have a pretty good reason as to why I'm not doing them.
Yeah, I haven't slept. How about that?
I would love to do them, but links are screwed up on my browser for some reason. It doesn't work properly for me. I have no idea. But if you notice in my meta, I hardly ever like properly link to stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for me. I don't know why.
Yeah. And I will post the links at some point as soon as possible. We are so lost about Caleb now. That's terrible.
No, we're not.
So it's just that there are actually 3 parts to the angel vessels and quantum mechanics meta currently.
Yes.
They're the top ones in my characters, plots, and mechanics section.
Yes. And it's actually really interesting. I read it before I came on air, and I was like, oh my god, we're so talking about that. Because we never really touch on it. And then I was like, this is actually the perfect opportunity. So can I just say, do you have a theory, like... People asked Misha if, Cast had the 4 faces of the Seraph, and obviously Seraph's meant to have 6 wings, and Archangels have 6 wings. So do you think they do take some sort of form, or are they just this, the wavelengths?
I think it's kind of like a spectrograph or a cloud, where you can... the human brain is designed to draw comparisons between our own recognizable features and things that we see in the outside world. That's why if you draw a bunch of scribbles and then do a dot on one perturbance and hand it to a friend, your friend's going to find a face or a head in there somewhere. So I think it's a case of they don't technically have a form as such. It's like they don't really look like a lion, but it's close enough to that a human that was somehow able to perceive the true face and so forth would see something that looked enough like wings, as far as probably a protrusion of their of their wavelength bodies, of their non-particulate bodies, and various oscillations in some section or another that looked kind of like a lion's head, a bull's head, and so forth. So kind of yes, kind of no. It's a perceptual matter.
Cool. I like that.
Oh, so much yes. I love that, yes.
This is so awesome. I just... Every time I study his meta, I come about with new headcanons, and that one's sticking too. So...
Yes!
I know, it's awful. It's really bad. You give me depressing headcanons and awesome ones, and the next one's going to be depressing, because we're gonna talk about your Endverse theory now. That I did see.
Well, a bit of it is as kind of set to laid to rest, because I think it was either, I forget if it was Jeremy Carver, it was probably Carver, or it may have been Robert Singer who said at SDCC that Inverse Cast is not going to happen in Season 9 canon. So my thing with Inverse is that I like the setting and the circumstances, not so much what happened to the characters.
Yes.
So there are a lot of elements that are set up that could play out. Like the biggest thing that I want to see sometime in second half of Season 9 or first half of Season 10 is I want them to find like some major shit is going down, happening, revolving around the overall season arc, and this 3-season arc that they're doing with 8, 9, and 10. And there's this like compound of hunters that have gone together, and they're forming basically, instead of just the loose vigilante network that they have going on now, they're forming an actual like paramilitary organization to fight whatever the hell it is, insert threat here. And at the end of the episode, like throughout the episode, that Sam and Dean and Cass preferably have been going in and out of this compound. There's like guarded checkpoints and so forth, and they go through a different entrance at the very end of the episode, and it pans up and you see this wooden sign that says "Welcome to Camp Chautauqua," and closes on this "Oh fuck, oh no, look on Dean's face.
Yes.
I want that to happen so bad.
I just sort of want these tiny moments going back to, the end. I just want these tiny things. Maybe Cass contemplating taking pills, and Dean just stood there like, shit, no, shit,
Yes.
no. You're
That,
not
I
drinking.
want that so much.
You're not drinking, you're not doing drugs, you're not having sex, you're not doing any of this, because you are not going to turn out like that.
I'm perfectly okay with inverse elements like showing themselves in Season 9. What I'm not okay with is that like a lot of people want it to be like a deep like inverse, like they want the entire.
It's not gonna be that.
And it just really
they're not gonna do that.
They're not going to rehash that.
I hated that episode. I really did not like it. And everyone loves it, and I'm just sitting here, I didn't like the episode. I mean, I thought the setting was kind of cool, but everything else about the episode just really pissed me off. I really hated it.
Yeah.
And I hear people saying that they want it to happen, and I'm just like, no!
Shannon, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, and when I say I want it to happen, I mean,
Yes.
I want these tiny moments sort of alluding to it, just saying, that sense of foreboding for the next 2 seasons, basically, of, oh, shit, are we heading there? And just because Dean's the only...
Yeah, like, give us some stress about this.
Yeah, give us some stress. Like,
yes.
oh, shit, is it going to happen? And because Dean's the only one who knew what's going to happen, then you have him basically trying to stop it happening. So you've got him like, no, Sam, oh god, Lucifer's out the cage again, Sam, do not say yes. And, just Dean having a major freak out for 2 seasons, basically, because he just doesn't want it to happen. I mean, that'd be so stressful and awesome. And, yeah.
But as far as, full out inverse happening, one of the biggest, two of the biggest reasons why that's not going to happen is, one, they've already said that the showrunners have already said that the whole Archangel vessel thing has been put to bed. That storyline is over. They're not going to have the threat of the Archangels trying to make them, trying to wear them anymore. And the second one is, as Andy has pointed out, that being Andy Then Fiction, they're not going to do the whole Croatoan thing because that would be way too close. Even though the end predates that series, would be way too close to The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
So they're not going to risk, looking like a knockoff of that series.
But they can certainly do something that destroys the world or threatens to, and that would be awesome. So
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think the beast.
If you think about it,
Yes.
I don't know if I'm in a post-apocalyptic sort of take on everything because I'm starting to get really tired of seeing it everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, every single thing that comes out, it's always this post-apocalyptic society, or it's people dealing with the apocalypse. I mean, we've already had to deal with the apocalypse once in the show. I feel like if they bring in another one, it'd just be annoying.
I just
an
want.
anticlimax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just want to feel again like the world could end in Supernatural. Like for a while now, it's sort of felt like this isn't a real threat. This isn't not like in season 4 and 5 when you genuinely thought the world was going to end. And I think we need an element of that in again to make it genuinely scary again.
But that,
Yeah, I would love that,
Kind of
honestly.
the opposite, actually. I think I want them to avoid this whole bigger laser thing. What made Dragon Ball Z so fucking ridiculous is that every single thing that they fought is they've never seen anything this powerful or this strong ever before. Every single time, it's like, oh, they're going to destroy a planet like the other one did this last 15 times. It just got ridiculous.
I don't.
So I think they need to kind of dial it back.
Yeah, I don't feel like we need a new all-powerful bad guy. I feel like we just need the sense again that something could go seriously fucking wrong. And, it's just sort of... Instead of the world just ticking over with vampires and werewolves and this and that and this. It's just sort of, if we don't handle this properly, this could actually put a lot of people in danger. And there's no sense of danger anymore for me. Like, I really don't actually feel that scared by it. So
Technically, it says there are no stakes.
Yeah,
I have to disagree with that because I think the angle they're gonna tackle at it is that not that there are no stakes, but that there are personal stakes.
Yeah.
And can I say that people look, Cass is at this point, aside from Sam, is Dean's biggest personal stake, and with Cass being human, I can't wait to see Dean's reaction to Cass actually being able to die, die because he got stabbed, kind of die.
Mm.
I mean, just imagine that.
But okay, I feel like with the big sort of existential things like, oh, if we don't do this, then something bad could happen, or oh, if we don't stop this, I feel like for me that takes away a lot of the personal connections to it. Like what I really liked about Supernatural in the beginning, before the apocalypse arc happened, was that a lot of the show was mainly just personal.
Mm.
It was Sam and Dean. Sam and Dean's biggest problems weren't, oh, we have to take down somebody. Sam and Dean's biggest problems were finding their dad.
Yeah.
And then in season 2 and 3, season 2 was, what the hell's wrong with my brother? It wasn't necessarily trying to fight and kill the yellow-eyed demon. It was like, what the hell was wrong with Sam?
Oop, we've lost Tom.
We lost Tom.
Okay, well, someone try to get him back. I feel like I was really on the ball with this. Okay, sorry, Tom. And in season 3, it wasn't about. It started to become more existential, but it mainly stayed about, oh no, we have to save Dean. And then you had season 4 and season 5, and they were really able to blend it in with the personal and the existential, because they made the apocalypse personally affect Sam and Dean and not just affect everyone. Like Sam and Dean, they never really worried about everyone else. They worried about themselves. I mean, everyone else was a factor in that, but they didn't really so much worry about them as they worried about trying to just stay right there. And then when you get to, and now I feel like with season 9, I hear everyone saying, "Oh, it has to be this sort of end of the world thing. Oh, it has to be this really big this big overall thing." I don't want it to be like that because I want the problems to stay with the characters. I want this to be about the characters. I don't want this to be about the world around it.
The thing is, Shannon, they have said multiple times now that it is going to be about the characters, so relax.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. I just feel like fans have a lot of influence, and I hear a lot of fans just shouting.
They don't have as much influence as you think. Just, relax.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Okay, relax, and let Tom explain where he disappeared to.
Yeah. Please tell everyone.
Seriously?
Shannon, you gotta come down.
What happened?
My fucking cat's unplugged the router.
You see? I just imagine a cat doing like that. No, that picture with the cat placing the paw on someone's palm when they're typing, like it's time to stop posting. Your cat just went in like, it's time to stop talking.
Or like the cat with the walnut, like, now don't touch that walnut, and it just slowly reaches out to kiss the walnut.
Ooh, guys, send us cats!
Send us cats this week!
Yeah.
This week is cats. But yeah, actually, Shannon, I think you're right, and I think if they did do another major plot arc like that, they need to make it personal again, because it hasn't really felt personal for quite a while. So.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I like the season finale of season 8 because it wasn't personal. It wasn't personal to Sam and Dean, but it was personal to Castiel.
Yeah.
Like, I got this sort of this thing with Sam and Dean. Like, they had their personal moments, but at the very end, you got that thing that, oh no, that's like Cass. You could see Cass's like heartbreak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt like that very last scene was sort of Cass's personal thing. I really feel like that was like, yes, finally, Cass is going to get this big personal thing because we're dealing with Cass's family now, and like in season 8 and the other parts of the finale were definitely personal with Sam and Dean. I mean, there's no way it couldn't have been personal with Sam and Dean.
Guys, we have more stuff to discuss, so we gotta get on with it.
Yeah, we gotta get on with it. To anyone who sent us, we might not get to them at this episode.
No. But
we have some time.
Have you seen what the next question is?
Oh God.
Yes.
You should have known I was gonna bring this up because it's my favourite meta.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk.
And it's like.
Yeah, let's talk a while about Dean's drug use then.
He just keeps getting happier.
So much happier. Actually, from his perspective, a lot of it is. And I have a fic that's still in the works regarding Dean's history of drug use. For him, I think there are 3 kinds of drug use that Dean has done over the years. One is when we're talking about things like pot and acid, where he's just done it to feel good. It is an escapist thing, but I think it's not so much of not really a desperate need to get away. That there is an element of that, as just he's a very adventurous person. And he likes to try new things. He's open to new experiences a lot. Yes, all entendres intended there. And when you're young and you basically deal only in cash, and you're not playing the cool aloof outsider, sooner or later there's gonna be drugs coming up, especially if you're hooking. So that primary part of it is just, for fun. Truly recreational drug use. So from his perspective, it's like, when in that one episode of season 4, when he was like, that brings back memories, he was happy about that.
Yeah.
When he was talking about, doing the Dark Side of the Rainbow, where you trip acid and sync up Dark Side of the Moon with Wizard of Oz. That was a happy memory for him. That's not something that he did because he felt he had to. It's because he wanted to. So that's, a pretty normal human experience. The second part is the alcoholism thing, where he drinks, primarily because he's an adult child of an alcoholic, so he has been raised from a very young age around people who drink to function. His father, both of his father figures were high-functioning alcoholics, meaning that they're almost constantly drunk, but they can still do shit. They're not just, lying in a lazy boy doing nothing but yelling at their wife and, eating Hot Pockets and whatever. They're going out and doing things. They just, do it drunk. So that was his foundation of what it means to be an adult and what it means to be a man and what it means to... he was taught that that's how you deal with your problems, is to drink. And then when shit just really hit the fan for him in season 7, that was his coping mechanism. That was how he was raised to deal with internal struggles. As much as he needs therapy and medication for the shit that's wrong with him, he wouldn't. Because that's not how he was raised to think, and at his age, it's really, really fucking difficult to convince someone that it's okay to get therapy. So, and then the third way that he does chemicals is basically to function. I think aside from alcohol, to sleep and to get through the day. It's heavily implied, if not outright stated, that he uses drugs to stay awake and to stay alert. He has long-standing sleep issues and insomnia issues that are probably abetted by the fact that he uses amphetamines to keep himself clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's and especially when we saw him dosing up Kevin as well. This one's to go, this one's to stop.
Yeah.
It's.
Can I just say,
Yeah. Yes.
It screams amphetamines at me so much because I have actually known people who do a lot of amphetamines, and the effect of them, the whole thing where you can basically go without sleep for like 3 days straight and be totally like energized the whole time. Yes, it resonates a lot.
Yeah, and
that's him all over.
Yeah, I didn't see it first until I read your meta, and then I was sort of like, shit, actually, it makes a lot of sense. But that isn't the sad one.
Yeah.
The sad one is the eating disorder headcanon, which I developed a while ago as well, and then I saw yours as well. So Dean has an eating disorder, and that one is sad for me.
Yeah, it really is.
Explain that to me, because I don't understand that one.
Yes, explain that one. That one didn't.
It's basically just one of those things that came out of just a random props and acting decision. But they liked it, so they kept it in. And it's there's this... I think most people, if they're middle class and they haven't had to deal with starvation levels of poverty or with eating disorders, they'll look at Dean stuffing his face every chance that he gets, like stopping in the middle of a conversation to get more food if it's free, every chance that he gets, and like just savoring these foods any chance that he can. And they'll think, oh, har, it's so funny, he's such a bore. But really, it's not. If there's the episode Metamorphosis with that one, I forget what critter it was, but this old hunter asks him, have you ever been really hungry, like haven't eaten in a few days hungry? And Dean says, yes.
Yes.
Oh, God.
And that was just, oh my God, I felt
so
sick.
Angry.
Because,
I was so angry.
It was heartbreaking.
And it's
so
yeah, basically, you know, Dean hoards food now because he never used to have food, so he makes the most of it when he can, and he will always give Sam his food where food is limited.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
Sam,
I think
I would go hungry to make sure that Sammy had food.
that's why Sam doesn't have the eating disorder, because Sam never went hungry because Dean made sure he never went hungry, because Dean would willingly give him his food, as we saw with the... Was it the cereal and the baked beans, was it, or something? Where Sam...
Yeah, it was
where Sam...
SpaghettiOs.
Yeah,
with
SpaghettiOs
the SpaghettiOs and the Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the point where Dean starts being a better big brother than me, because if my little brother wanted my food, I'd be like, bitch, get your own.
Yeah, so basically...
But see, you were a big brother and Dean was a mom.
Yeah, Dean was a mom. He really wasn't just a big bro, and I think the name is, I think it's Food Maintenance Syndrome?
Yeah. Something like that.
I think that is the name of this type of disorder.
And as Andy pointed out in one of his articles, that kind of eating a food deficiency in an early age can cause OLEGs.
OLEGs, yeah. And it's so amazingly curious that it all came together like that, because obviously, I mean, we can thankfully say for sure that, you know, Jensen doesn't have them because of that. He just has bow legs because he has bow legs.
Yes.
At least I hope so, because,
It ties in nicely, though. It ties in nicely, though, to a Dean headcanon, doesn't it? So, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, that was depressing.
We have, like, 4 minutes left unless we go over, so...
And it made my soul soar with glee.
Yeah. Well, let's be a little more happy, because you have 4 minutes left, as you say. And we were going to say, do you have any fan work recommendations to cheer us up? Or depress us more? I'm not sure which it's going to be.
I have 7, actually, so I'll try to go through them quickly. We only have, like, 3 minutes. Okay, so Redemption Road is the be-all, end-all. It's huge, it's brilliant, it's perfect. There will never... I don't think there'll ever be a better fanfic in the world than Redemption Road. It's not just Dean Cass, it's an entire season, and Sam is paid attention to and very well fleshed out. The Fourth Wall series, yes, I have ulterior motives for wrecking that, but it's freaking hilarious. That's by Entangled now on AO3. It's basically meta. It's where Dean Cass and Sam discover fanfic, and it's not an R-rated thing, fic overall, but it's very, very funny, and takes some unexpected twists, which are really, really fun. Carry On, I already talked about, so I'll skip over that. The Pillowverse is, I forget the URL for it, but that's on Tumblr, and it's being written by a couple different people and is illustrated. It's still in the works. It's basically, it's a summer interim thing. It's like after, it picks up immediately after 8.23 and continues on from there. Were you wanting to interrupt?
No.
Okay. Next one is Cult de Sac by Blue Morpho on AO3. And you have to pay attention to the first chapter of this because it has some very important foreshadowing. It was freaking hilarious. God, I laughed so hard at this. And then it's actually structured almost perfectly like an actual episode. I think she kind of dropped the ending with too much info dump, but other than that, it's really good and has one of the best Jimmy theories I've ever read. Next is We Found Love in a Hopeless Place, which is huge. It's painful. It's the only high school AU that I will ever read or recommend. I haven't actually finished it yet. Sorry, Tomi. It's by Tomi-sama04, who is Tales from Perdition on Tumblr. And the last is the Tangible series by Beast of the Sky, known as Basia Cat on Tumblr. Same person who wrote An Exercise in Worthlessness. It's also a multi-pairing one, and it's very, very painful, but very, very good. And it does have a happy ending, but that is also kind of sad. So.
Awesome. So you managed it with a
Yeah,
minute
awesome.
to spare.
Totally, yes.
Yes.
We should talk about the challenge. Why didn't you guys do the challenge?
I tried, but you smashed it. You smashed the challenge. The challenge.
Sorry. Yes.
It was given to us by Gem today, Angemic Wings, and she said that we had to use the words rim, job, and unicorn in conversation, and extra points if you use them all in one sentence. And Silven basically just
We got unicorn in.
Silven did the whole thing. I saw it.
Yeah, I
coming
did in one
halfway
sentence.
through. I was just like, that is not. I just gave up because I was like, oh, that's a winner, really. I can't remember.
I should have said that. I should have said that listening to Fandom Wank is like giving a unicorn a rim job. But I never did.
That makes no sense. Unicorns like poop rainbows. Did I say too much? I'm a very open person who's very hard to squeak.
Oh.
Oh my god. Oh, I was waiting to see.
I know you love me.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I'm just. Yeah. I was waiting for someone to say something, but they're not saying anything, so I'm just gonna. I think we should wrap up now because we should probably sleep soon.
Yeah.
I think I've been on my feet.
You made it all the way through.
I've been on my feet for 20 hours, I think. Is that 20 hours? Yeah, 20 hours. I'm on 1 hour's sleep, so yes, I'm doing fantastic. Absolutely.
And yeah, we should wrap up now.
Yes, that was fun. So thank you, Tom, so much. That was actually really, really.
Thank you so much for being with us. It was brilliant.
It was
I
really-
expect porn to be sent to me read in your voice.
Can you just
I would love that.
Can you just imagine some
Really send me.
I'll see what I can do. Like the only. Well, no, I have done DC porn.
I just want to hear a really
We'll see.
hardcore porn passage just in that with the microphone. I just think that would be really interesting. Really.
Okay.
Gigantic bonuses for like Southern accent and stuff.
Hey, we need to go.
Yeah, let's go. Bye, guys.
We love you guys. Bye.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Less than 3.